What's a fun fact you like to tell in social situations? I can always guess how many jelly beans are in the jelly bean jar, even if I'm wrong. The last time Liechtenstein had an army, it was 80 men and fought in the Austro-Prussian War. They returned home with 81 men. They made a friend and brought him home. There is a natural lull in conversations involving small groups of people about every 7 minutes so that we can listen for approaching predators. I say this whenever there's a lull in conversation at a party. No idea if it's true. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga has a higher Metacritic score than 60% of the movies. Sweet iced tea was basically the symbol of duck money back in the southern plantation days. It consisted of sugar, ice, and tea. All three of those, the ice especially, were expensive and hard to come by back then. Having all three of them together created a giant cup of I'm rich stitch for all the punes to see. Pirates wore an eye patch so they could switch it to the other eye when going below deck and be able to see in the dark without waiting for their eyes to adjust. Koalas spend most of their lives high, as their diet consists solely of a plant that intoxicates them. There are more trees on Earth than stars in the Milky Way. By a lot. In Norse mythology, Loki gave birth to Odin's 8-legged horse after getting plowed by a giant steed. Denmark has corrected 3 US presidential candidates on their misunderstanding of Danish economics, clarifying that they are not in fact a socialist state. Sweden and Norway choose to ignore the claims. Russia gets its name from a ruling class of Vikings who decided not to go home. When cars were first implemented in America, the people driving them didn't understand the concept of centripetal force and would frequently tip their cars over when turning. Not sure if true, but I heard in the movie Antichrist they needed a dick double for William Dafoe because his dick was too big, it was distracting. Oxford University was established 200 years before the Inca Empire. Raccoons are more clean than you think. Those little critters will dunk their food in water to clean it before eating it. 38% of homelessness in my county is related to kids aging out of foster care. Yeah, I'm fun at parties. The white dashed lines on the highway are 10 feet long apiece. Bangladeshi farmers replaced their chickens with ducks because they float during floods. Late to the party, but this is a fun fact. The vast majority of cellular research is performed on one immortal cell line that has been continuously cultivated since the early 50s. They were cervical cancer cells removed from a patient without a knowledge or consent, and have been used for everything from creating a polio vaccine to AIDS research. If you want to know more, there's an awesome book called The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks that goes into great detail about the cells, the woman, and the ensuing controversy. That both your eyes have blind spots. You close one eye, look at a still point on the wall and hold your hand straight forward at eye level with your thumb up. Move it slowly until suddenly it disappears, very close to the center of your vision. It always blows people's minds. Your brain is just hiding the fact there is a big hole where you can't see in both of your eyes. Shrek and Han Solo dress the same. If you shuffle a deck of 52 cards randomly, then there's by all practical means a 100% chance they will be in an order a deck of cards has never been in before in the history of the universe. Let's assume a deck is shuffled in 1 million different ways every single second, and let's continue doing that for 13.8 billion years, which is about the age of the universe. You would end up with 4.34 x 1022 different decks, which is only 0.00000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000000 that you can fit every planet in the solar system in between the Earth and Moon and still have space left over. Space is big, man. Anne Frank, Barbara Walters and MLK were all born in the same year, 1929. If it's night, I often point up to Betelgeuse and tell them that that star is due to supernova any time between now and a million years from now, and that point of light will swell to several times its size and be as bright as the moon, though not quite as large in diameter, possibly casting shadows. Being that it's about 600 light years away, there is a small possibility that it's already gone supernova and the light hasn't even reached us yet. If it exploded during the time of Columbus landing in the New World, we still wouldn't see the light of its supernova yet. If it's summertime or early fall though, I'll do the same thing with Antares, but unfortunately at my latitude Antares isn't quite as easy to see as it's closer to the horizon and trees buildings often obstruct its view. While we're looking at that area of the sky, I'll point to Alnilam, the middle star of Orion's belt that is 2000 light years away, and tell them it's a whopping 40 times the mass of our sun and will almost certainly become a black hole after it eventually supernovas. Also, a lot of people seem to think that the North Star, Polaris, is one of the brightest in the sky, which it isn't. So I show them how to use the Big Dipper to locate it. I went to a meetup once and for whatever reason the topic of remembering names came up. This one girl told everyone that her trick to remembering people's names was, as soon as people say their name to her, to imagine carving their name into their forehead with a sharp knife. I don't know how well it works to remember other people's names, but it sure is a good trick to make sure her name gets remembered.